Cheers to the uncertainty of life and everything life brings in general. There are good, there are bad, there are ugly, there are all different spectrum of experiences which life brings along. And cheers to all of them, um, because every experience has a teaching moment, or at the very least, you know, that's something to just pass the time because that's what we are doing here, passing the time, passing this existence, and I guess uh, finding a meaning. A lot of people look up for institutes and God or some other thing to find a meaning in life. And the other people, they create their meaning. So, uh, either if you are, you know, someone who's finding meaning which was sort of defined by someone else, cheers to that. If you're, if you're, I know you're still struggling, and trust me, all of us are. We are in this together. But I have more kudos to people who actually are creating meaning of life by doing things which actually brings joy into their life and expressing their creativeness in the world and just adding more I guess good vibes into the world, which we need a lot, trust me. That's why I'm a bit hopeful of the things happening in my life as well as things in general, right? But I'm so uncertain of what I'm gonna do a few months from today because I don't know. That's sure you can plan it out in your head, but yeah, still no one knows. We are all sort of living it, anticipating that nothing bad happens to, ourselves or our family and our community and, country as well as the world. I get that, and but sooner or later there will be some bad moments. So uncertainty, uh, uh, yeah, it's a very teachful moment, at least for me right now, because I'm digesting this moment, this very moment right now, and just feeling and breathing in the uncertainty, what it brings. I'm obviously or clearly lack of words, which uh, which is kind of surprising because I've been onto this conversations and rant for the entire day. So I guess it's good end of the day to wrap up like everything without any words, and that's that's uncertainty too. Mm. Anyways, I'm gonna start meditating for an hour using Vipassana meditation technique, which is to focus on my breath as well as body sensations. And one of the best part of Vipassana is that uh, imagine that if you are in a place where none of the external stimulus is driving your thoughts, then whatever you feel in that moment, that's where Vipassana takes you. And it's hypothetical, but it's out there because Buddha got enlightened practicing Vipassana. So I'm pretty sure this is a very powerful technique. And just by calmly observing the breath and at last the body sensations can bring up all the suffering. And a lot of people say like things from the previous birth which is out there, which is pretty woo woo. And honestly, I think most of it is projection. Yeah, so I'll leave it to that. But according to Buddha, it brings in all the sensations which are buried within our body for like a long, long time, and pretty much like for your entire existence. So I'm 32 and what 3 4 months old. So I've accumulated a lot of vibrations for sure. A lot of them are good vibes, good moments. Some of them are terrible, horrible, tough times. And all of these vibrations gonna be coming up when I'm like diving deeper into Vipassana. And dealing with that is what Vipassana is. I mean, it's pretty rhetoric question to begin with, but uh, the point I'm making is Vipassana itself says that you gotta be equanimous to these different vibrations, which is very difficult at times because if you have experienced some traumatic experience, which fortunately I haven't, and not to the extent that I have to seek help. Uh, so when those experiences are bubbling out during meditation, your thoughts might take you there, your body might feel that. And in that moment it's very hard to not react to it and be equanimous and just observe as a you know observant would be very difficult. And I completely understand that. That's where deeper and deeper practice of Vipassana comes into picture. And on the other end, the good moments, the pleasureful, delightful moments, gonna bring up all of these pleasureful thoughts, which could crave you into that thought patterns when you're meditating. And those are the I don't know, for lack of better words, it's kind of the pleasure. I mean, it's pretty. Yeah, I'm lacking of words, so I'm just gonna say that a lot of these pleasurable thoughts itself kind of craves for more and more of those thoughts. And that's a freaking dead end because the once you achieve that, it's you know it's the thoughts or the feeling tries to latch onto something else because that's what craving does. Once you fulfill that craving, it doesn't stop there. It needs more and more. So, that's why a lot of people are trapped into this pleasureful cycle of addiction. It could be because of whatever, there's psychological issues, obviously, but also physiological issues. So, people who are addicted to caffeine or cigarettes or alcohol, it's not just their mindset, but also their physical body is craving for that. So, Vipassana, when you dive deeper and deeper, gonna bring up all of those sensations, and it's gonna become very painful to equanimously, just observing the cravings and observing um, the horrible traumatic moments or being averse to those moments. So equanimity, it's very very difficult to do, and that's where I am trying to get better at by practicing daily vipassana. And also I noticed that in my day-to-day life too, the things I do, I could be very mindful when I'm doing it. And speaking of which, I'm just looking around in my room or in living room, and I need to clean my living room, and also a lot of things in my life. I guess that's one of the things which I'm gonna do tomorrow, because unless the ambience is kind of clean and neat, the mind will gravitate towards that, you know, unhygienic thought. And I can see why my life is uh, spiraling down to wherever it's spiraling down to. So I guess this is another learning moment to kind of take a real time assessment of my life and where I want to move forward, because yeah, life is uncertain. Who knew? uh, I hope you know that um, I be I find out some way to kind of express more creatively and continue to create more videos and fund myself, you know, in life, generally speaking, by creating these videos and bringing the tribe I want to attract within my life together, right? So create more opportunities within the tribe and have this uh, and I would say like direct my time, energy, and focus towards creating things instead of like trapped into some repetitive, yeah, parasitic. I don't want to define it. I don't want to name the term, but whatever, and suck all of my energy and time into it. And I can totally see why the situation I'm in is uh, of my own creation, and I guess a lot of us are doing the same. Even though I know for sure that a lot of us are trying really hard, and life is very hard, especially if you're not. I would say, in some sense, rewarded, but also at the other end, like if you don't have resources to begin with, if you don't have the resources, and throughout your life you have hustled through to make money or hustled through to gain knowledge, or excuse me, hustled through to make relationships. I can totally see why a lot of people are going through hard times, even though we are living in such a prosperous time. This is the best time. And obviously, I'm coming from a biased perspective, because, what am I going to do? Like, go to different timeline? I can't, right? So, this is, but still looking at the positive side of it, this is the best time. Like, I can, live stream this at what? Uh, like 4 a.m. I mean, who does that? Like, how often? Like, back in the day, no one could have done this, and that's why I feel like so grateful that the things which this timeline have spun into existence in some sense, because technology wasn't a thing. I mean, there were different technological tools in the past, like telephone was one of them, calculator, yeah, centuries back. I don't know, television, radio, like you name it, but this rise of computer, and then now with the mobile devices, and then with the apps and the social media, it's amazing. I mean, I am also at the same time uh, scared as well as guilty of social media because that is one of the things which is distracting us. It's distracting every single person, and not just a person, but also getting hold of the kids, the next generation, or who knows. This is a natural evolution of how things gonna be, and hopefully the next generation get better. It's gonna be like a version 2 of growing up with internet and social media at large, and obviously it's gonna be refined with the generation after them and after them. So who knows, like 50, 70 years from today, it will be like a different worldview where people still knows that social media can, it's just a bigger noise, and they would be able to probably um, just tune in to what is adding value into their lives. And at the same time, social media is important because right now it's the media to consume all the content, and that's where people in power are using it. I mean, for good thing or bad thing, I mean that's how things gonna be, because that's how things have been, right? Like in the past when media was a thing, like the press media, or who knows, like back in the day when public announcement, there were like only people who can buy them create this narration and use for their benefits. And likewise, right now, social media, it's being hijacked by politics, politicians, and creating biased content, which is riling up people, and ooh, you have a division. And when you have a division, that becomes a better opportunity to control, because when everything at the bottom is divided, who gonna revolt? Or I shouldn't even say revolt per se, but who gonna stand up? That's the whole point. When two sides, well, two is being just conservative, but there are like so many different bubbles because we individually are bubble of our own, depending on what kind of content we consume online specifically. But even if we just say, like, two different parties in US political system, as well as, like, if you go to different countries, like even in India, there's like, you know, right wing and left wing, and both of them have created their own bubble where people don't want to listen to any of the other, um, I would say, bubble or interact with the bubble. But if you meet person in general, you can connect with them at a different level. Yeah, maybe there are people who are hateful towards you without even knowing you, and that's gonna be true no matter what. Uh, People just kind of, I guess, have this innate tribal mindset where, either they're scared of people who are not within their tribe. So it could be based on their color, based on their religion, and it's not a new thing. I mean, going back to like the ancient roots, but specifically talking about India, where caste system is, um, for lack of a better words, a virus which has been consuming the society from inside out. and create this hierarchical, oh, hierarchical structure. Yeah, the powerhouses in a lot of sense. And that is bound to happen no matter what. Like, what are you gonna do? That's how the world works. It will, in some sense, find a structure. Uh, but what you could do, just not, you know, just to kind of like take the conversation towards, one-sided conversation towards something more hopeful and faithful thing is like what you could do is focus your time, energy, and vibrations into the directions of creating things instead of like being hateful, and especially to the people who you don't even know. Yeah, there are enough suffering, so to speak. We are going through our own suffering. We have this negative thoughts, which kind of like punch ourselves all the time, which I do like, yeah, every single day. Just like you, I bet. Even though I don't know what kind of thoughts you have, but yeah, it's similar. We all share that in common, unless one of you is psychopath, which is very likely. But that being aside, um, we have this common, I would say, goal to make this world works for every one of us. And I get it. There are a lot of divisions because of ideology, and a lot of people thinks that their side is right. Yeah, so do I. Uh, but the point is to still have those conversations, and instead of being hateful, you know, just understand that people are coming from different places and they're trying hard. Everyone is. I'm hoping so. And the universe is not fair, which is totally fair argument, wise of course. That universe, for whatever reason, it is what it is. I mean, it may come or perceive as fair to one person versus the other, but in a grand scheme, like if you're a cow who was about to be slaughtered, yeah, universe is definitely not fair for her, because you're not the right species. Once you are the right species, you have to be born in the right place, within the right family, within surrounded with right peers to kind of have a better life. But universe isn't fair. You could have been a cow in a slaughtered house, but instead you are a human. You're a human being living this existence, and appreciate it, because fortunately or unfortunately, you know, I'm gonna be here for like what, 40, 50 years. Well, my genes are good, so maybe even like 60 years. But we're gonna be living here for very little time in the granular scheme. So if we are being hateful to one another, and for what? For extra money, which, well, try imagining any person, any rich person who was really happy with all the money they have. No, it doesn't work that way. It's all about relationships, and this is, what I'm learning with this, again, bad situation I'm going through. And it's all about nurturing those relationships as well, because when you're surrounded with positive peer groups and people who keep you in check, and people who understand that you're coming from a right mindset. Yeah, you may act as an asshole sometimes, or you may act as a, you know, whatever at some other time. You're still a different being. You're a different flavor, or you're being a different flavor in that moment. But whatever. But at large, I'm starting to feel the importance of different relationships. And you can be professional, personal, whatever, right? There are different ways, and it doesn't even have to be between the people per se. That's why a lot of people are looking for relationships in some sense with their pets and nature and universe or God or whatever, right? Like we like to feel that we belong, and I believe that's a very human feeling to kind of feel that way. And I bet, like, a lot of times, if someone believes in God, it helps, especially, if they're going through a difficult time, because then they have something to believe into. That, yeah, they belong, they have a meaning. Again, going back to the same cycle, that some goddess brings meaning into their life. But at the end, whatever that is for you, I feel good for you. I feel so grateful that you have something or someone within your life where you can, you know, guess, feel belonged. I am personally very grateful because my family is loving, even though we have a lot of issues. I grew up with 20 other people, so that's the whole other dynamics for sure. And I guess, like, that's one of the reasons why I love politics, because when you bring in 20 people together, there's gonna be a lot of politics. So who knew? So understanding that there will be differences, and just acknowledging those differences, and just still be connected, that's what makes life richer, not the money. So when I see people kind of jogged into this ideology of either capitalism versus socialism, or your religion is bad, my religion is good. What exactly are you talking about? These are all created. These are all created concepts. That's it. It's not real. None of this thing is real. We are making things up every single day. It's mind-boggling to see that so many countries have um, mass destructive weapons, and still we're relatively peaceful, all existing together. Like, it's good that we didn't have a world war since 80 years or whatever. And if that's not a symbol of world coming together, I don't know what is. But at the same time, the powers are shifting, and I feel that there will be another blaming on the other person or the tribe or whatever, and there will be this. There would be. Yeah, it would be ironical if humans kill ourselves based on these differences, which in the granular scheme doesn't even make sense, or doesn't even exist, or doesn't even matter. So we create this meaning every single day and fight for these meanings, whereas what exactly is the life? No one knows. It's uncertain. And I guess a lot of it is also how what is afterlife. That's a whole different conversation. And the concept of Hinduism, which I kind of like personally, well, I'm biased too, but the concept of Hinduism is that we come into existence as a different beings in different timelines, and spend our existence on this planet and move on, and then again come back, and then again come back, and depending on our karmas, like the action we do in our present life, we will be getting a better life form or a worse life form. I have my own issues with that, but I still kind of see that as an attractive model to kind of base the 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 karmic, the morality in some sense, right? Like, because who knows what happens when we die? So nothing, uh, nothing. Most of these institutes say is real. So it's a mystery. And I guess meditation, the deeper meditation at least, kind of takes you to those different levels of reality. And let's just say if the reincarnation is right, okay, let's just say that. Um, I mean, again, I love it because based on what we do in this life will be either better or worse life form in the next life. So it's a karmic justice at the end of the life. So it's kind of fulfilling that all the good things I'm doing without hoping anything in return. Just saying, I'm not hoping for any rewards or anything, but whatever the good things I'm doing uh, stacks up, and whatever the bad things I did or gonna do, it also stacks up, and the tally of good and bad kind of create the direction in which I'm gonna lead into in my next life form. But I think there gotta be more than that. I mean, come on, I don't want to come back. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I can put my mind into it, and I can see myself coming back as a different beings, and and you know living this existence all over again, because it will be in different timelines, so it won't be the same things happening. But to be honest, history doesn't repeat. History rhymes. So even if I'm born as a different life form, let's just say 100 years from today, I'm sure I'll be having the same difficulties, good and bad, in day to day life. And at the larger scheme, the power dynamics will still be similar at large. So, what I want to say is, like, during my existence in this shape and form, I guess, I want to, I would rather do better things, which makes things better if I'm, like, gonna come back down the road. So there's a lot of selfish genes in that too, I guess. But it's, yeah, it's, I don't know, like, how I got into afterlife, but that's why I have to kind of, like, sort of make these pointers and make a note of these things. But I can tell you one thing, that there are so many opportunities out there, financially, relationships wise, personal level, mental, physical, health overall, improvements, so many things out there, so many opportunities out there, that I feel that I'm living in a very, very good timeline. And well, at the same time, I don't know how climate crisis is going to change that opinion, because it's real and it's coming with exponential calamities. So it's a matter of time when we will be, living in a different world overview altogether. And I hope, well, yeah, I hope that that doesn't happen. But knowing that humans gonna mess this up, because the powerhouses are just vested into their power, like how they're gonna get more power, more money, and whatnot. But regardless, what I want to focus in my personal life, even though I don't know if you're listening, I don't know why you're listening, but if you are, I'm grateful that you're still watching me. And this is more of a self talk. And I hope that, if you're listening to this very statement, I hope that you cultivate it within your life as well. Talk good things about your life. That's the very least you can do, because, yeah, um, I've messed up my life day to day, and, because of my choices, because of my lack of choices or decisions, or luck, or whatever it may be. The only way I can think that I can improve myself and also make sure that the world around me improves is to first have that positive conversation, that positive thought rolling. But again, it's a whole different philosophical argument of what is positive versus what is negative, because thought is a thought, just like energy is just an energy. But I would say like positive is more like, which is directed towards creating something. And it still could be creating a point of view which targets or mock someone or something because of the obvious lies or, wrong they're doing. And the negative thought or energy or whatever is more like a destruction of anything, right? Even though creation and destruction are two sides of the coin, it's more like, which one are you going to focus on? Which one do you need within your life? Are you going to create new things? Are you going to create things out of existence? Or would you be focusing on the things which are not already working in your favor, and, adding on to your suffering? So that's how I analyze it. Like positive is like creating, and negative is something like it, which is destructive, which is very obvious. It's not rocket science. It's been sort of propagated for like ages in different civilizations with a different messages, you know, encrypted with different messages or stories or whatever. But that's, at the very least, I can just create positive thoughts. And for that, I don't need anything at all. And also focus my time and energy into what are the opportunities I can uh, focus my time and energy on, instead of lack of opportunities, because there is abundance in this universe. Yes, that's a news flash. There are infinite, well, infinite is like, it's just thrown around, but there are like trillions and trillions of stars. And even if I don't go all the way at the granular level, but even within our planet, there are a lot of abundance. Uh, the nature itself sort of, you know, evolved because of the abundance. The If nature was kind of scarcity, right, then it would have never evolved in the first place. It would have been, let me just hold on to what I have. It's it's just a mindset. Scarcity gonna bring in scarcity. Abundance gonna bring in abundance. So that's the law of the universe. Whatever you focus in, that brings it. And that's a lot. I guess like that's a law of attraction, all how they package it. But when I say like focus, and it doesn't even mean just thinking of it. You have to take action, because without action, nothing gonna happen. I mean, I can sit here and imagine or think that I have amazing body, but no, it would never happen until I get my ass into gym and work out every single day and put in the time and effort to build up something. Until that, no, it's not gonna happen. So it's not just thoughts; it's the action which follows the thoughts. Or sometimes it's both. It's a combination. It's kind of difficult to kind of pinpoint it's one or the other, or which one leads. So a lot of times it's an action which automatically create thoughts towards that action. How we justify our decisions or lack thereof. Like, if we think that we got a better deal on anything, we think of all the things all the things better about that deal. And if we focus on all the crappy things about the deal, then we'll be focusing just on that. So it's action followed by thoughts, it's thoughts followed by action, but both of them goes together. So all I'm saying is create this cycle of thoughts and action, because regardless of which one leads which, when thoughts are falling behind, when you're having a really hard day, really horrible day, then that action will create those thoughts. And likewise, if you're not taking action to do anything, create those thoughts which can inspire you and excite you to take the action. And I can tell you, like in the past week, which was difficult because of my bad situation, I've been ranting about for the entire whatever, like half an hour or even more. But because of that bad situation or whatever, I've been just focusing on where I can put in my action and how I can contribute to the world in general. So, I feel so fulfilled that I've been going to open mics, which I plan to do, and that also takes my mind off the bad situation again. But also on the other end, like I do other things, Aikido for an example, which to be honest, I haven't been in almost a week because of I was under the weather. Not that you have to know that, but the point I'm making is that actions, the things which you said you would do, and actually following it through, that is the key to feel like a success. It doesn't matter if you're not a successful person on paper, because success isn't here. And I get it. As long as you're not starving, just having a successful mindset will hopefully bring in more success towards you, but at the very least, inspire and excite you to keep on doing the things you are passionate about, which could be difficult for people who are literally starving, because, yeah, talk about passion to them. If they don't have food on the table, yeah, they'll it's a bad situation, so I shouldn't be mocking it. And again, I know that life is unfair, and there are a lot of other power dynamics which is creating this unfairness, or in some sense amplifying these unfairness at the individual level. And hey, the only way out of this is to cultivate this abundant, successful mindset. Because I don't know how successful I will be monetarily. I don't know how successful I will be in my relationships. I don't know how successful I will be in my comedic endeavors. I don't know how successful I will be in getting deeper into my meditation practice. But I know that in here, every single day, I'm successful when I'm doing things I said I would do, in spite of having a bad day, in spite of having those automated negative thoughts. Shout out to John Quick. That's his analogy, automated negative thoughts. The way he says, like, kill those ants, which are automated negative thoughts. So, shout out to him. But at large, success is just a mindset. When I feel successful, I think the world around me is also successful. And I feel that someone else's success is not taking away that success from me, because I'm creating in my mindset. It's not that, not like a monetary, I would say, uh, we don't have to fight over some money or fight over some other resources. It's yours. A successful mindset is yours. I mean, in here, yeah, we can be successful. And I know a lot of times, I feel like narcissist, which is what I'm feeling right now. That I can be in my head saying that I am successful, even though on paper I don't have anything financially, relationship wise, or maybe even starving. But in here, that's the step one. That's how I'm gonna build this up, one step at a time, with this successful mindset. And no matter what life throws at me, which gonna be a lot, uh, I don't know if it's gonna be all good or all bad. I mean, it's uncertain, but whatever it may be, I am here to accept it. Because, hey, you know, I'm here for only limited time anyway, so what are my choices, right? Like, if the bad situation is happening, uh, because of whatever reason, I have to just accept it the way it is, or at the very least, acknowledge it and then take an action if it's like really critical, to kind of mitigate it. Uh, but the end point is to just accept, understanding that this situation is happening, and likewise a good moment too. Just accepting those good moments, and or accepting moments in general, and that goes back to equanimity, where not being attached to good or the bad, just experiencing it like I'm experiencing right this moment. That's a very, very long rant. I think I've been talking for 40 minutes, and at some point I even said that I don't have words anymore, and I still continue to kind of like talk for 30 minutes after that. Damn. Which is fascinating. I know, probably no one is watching this at this point. If they are, kudos to you. Seriously, kudos to you. Because, you know, like listening to someone for 30 minutes and going through all the different variations of conversation, if I may say that, uh, and still listening is a very, very innate art, which is the other thing I'm trying to cultivate within my life, which is to just listen. And so many of my personal problem, and at large the human's problem, could be solved just by listening. Again, going back to the listening to the other side, different bubbles, different realities, just listening to it. If you have patience, or if you do even want to listen to it, bring in people. But the point is, I'm trying to make my life better by listening to the people I interact with, or also at large, listening to the non-verbal cues by, again, people, are also listening to what the universe is in some sense teaching me, or life in general is teaching me, because I feel that a good student is the one who is open to receive. And listening is an attribute of receiving. And obviously, listening, receiving the sound, the knowledge, the wisdom, the information, whatever, but also at large, receiving the skills, right? When I go to Aikido, I listen to the instructor, the sensei, who is, artfully displaying different moves, different moments, or movements, not moments, well. And while practicing those movements, I get better at that movement, I guess, yeah, which is pretty obvious. But also, like, while listening to the sensei themselves, I'm learning, I'm absorbing their wisdom they have accumulated over their immense amount of, work they have put into that skill, which is outstanding. I mean, one of my main sensei, I believe, he's been doing this for decades. So imagine the experiences he had on the mat, and when he is channeling those experiences in whatever his thoughts are in that moment, and just listening to those cues and understanding the movement from a different point of view. make it palatable, make it digestible, and easier for me to do for sure. And I'm sure most of my other peers would agree with that as well. But also, in the past 3 years, I've been doing Aikido, right? And I can see the changes within me, like just practicing different movements. So, listening is very, very important, and listening is to shut your automated negative thoughts and the ants and focus on what is channeled towards you, I guess, for lack of a better word. But, or what is the teaching moment from this shared moment? But yeah, and at the very least, it made conversations very pleasantful. Just listening to it. A lot of times I'm in my head, and conversation is going on a different rabbit hole. And a lot of times, because I'm in my head, the conversations are not going anywhere at all, or not even getting started where it should have. And I can think of like so many instances right now. But listening can make, I guess, us better beings just by open to understand what's the information and data or channel towards us. And I guess meditation opens up those channels to receive um, you know the vibrations, the information, the data which the life is throwing at us. So yeah, but before I start my meditation, which I promise I will, I'm not gonna go on another 30 minutes of these thoughts, which are delightful as they are. I don't know if if you're still watching, if any of the conversation or any of the things which I was saying makes sense, but in my head, I am enjoying this. I'm really enjoying it. Just to, I feel so good in this moment that I'm really enjoying having these conversations or having these thoughts flow through me. I mean, thought about channeling, right? So if you're listening, then some of these thoughts might inspire you because it is inspiring me right now. And some of these thoughts could hopefully makes your life better. And if you share with others, don't share it with my name tag. I stopped caring about that long time back. I mean, it would be good for targeted marketing and all the benefits out of it. But if that is bound to happen, it will happen. If not, that's a different conversation. But what I'm saying is like share these good, insightful tidbits, whatever you might have consumed or received, different way of just saying the same thing, I guess. But uh, whatever insightful wisdom you might have received through me, because I'm your channels, like a lot of times these thoughts are just flowing to us, right? Like it is right now. And trust me, I've been on so many non-creative rabbit hole when I'm like, dude, why am I not even getting a good thought? And or whatever. But right now, I'm having a very clear, very transparent, and pretty awesome thoughts. And I just want to share it with the world because I feel like the more we share the good thoughts, the good vibes, the better it gets, amplified. And that's what we need right now, where things are not going well for all of us as a species, as well as most of us as a person, as a being. So just sharing the good moment I'm experiencing right now, and I hope that you experience a lot of good moments today, right now. In fact, that would be awesome. But I'm hoping that you experience these good moments within your life, and you share those good moments with other people, and amplify the good moments. And I guess that's why a lot of people are into music, because music starts good vibes, like literally. But uh, music also connect people, and which I'm trying to get back into. And I, for a while, I guess, lost my musical ear, and this year I've been listening to a few jams which are good, which are take me to good mindset, which is what music does. It's impressive, right? Like, you can have a good song in your playlist, and that can put you upbeat. Like, that can change your mood altogether within a second. I guess that's why musicians are magicians, because they can change the vibrations of the people through their music. And I know, like, there are some darker music out there which can also take people to, like, you know those darker sides. But regardless, uh, I've been listening to some of the good jam, and that helps me when I'm, like, too much in my head, and kind of help me to focus on what is important, and at the very least help me to kind of, like, get it moving and go and do things which I'm passionate about, like stand-up comedy, aikido, especially in the situation I'm in. Again, to go on another rant. Uh, I don't know, like, how long it's gonna be lasting. So I have to make the best out of all the moments I have. Mm. So, that being said, I'm gonna start meditating using the Vipassana technique. I've been on this flow of thoughts for so long that I literally have to pee. If I don't pee right now, I'll be thinking about peeing during meditation, and that's not something you want to sit down for an hour while practicing any meditative technique. Trust me, it's it's a very very it's very uncomfortable, for lack of a better word. I'm trying to keep it, you know, I'm trying to make sure that my words are kind of, like, targeted to family and, whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna take a pee and then come back here and meditate for an hour. Hey Google, play white noise. Hey Google, play white noise. Google, stop.
All right. I hope that you enjoyed that white noise. All right. Okay. I will see you in an hour.
thanks for sticking around if you're still around. And please, please, please use different mindful techniques or any type of meditative practice which you can cultivate within your life and see the benefits out of it. And I'm telling you, there are so many benefits, and personally, it makes me calm, and I can see the situations, the past situation I'm in, again going back, but yeah, in those bad moments, what definitely helps is being calm and peace at peace from inside. And I'm feeling that more and more because of meditative practice. And I hope that someone or all of you start practicing mindfulness and meditation, and you know make your lives better and stay peaceful.